All right. So in this video, I want to make a quick tutorial on how you guys can find companies and prospects for your for business outreach, anything that you want to do. So let's assume you're a creative agency and you're looking for clients, you're looking for marketing agencies, local businesses, something like that. And in this case, we're going to use Clay. So you can go to clay.com. You can sign up for a free account. It's completely free. You can start your 14-day pro trial. We can also quickly go through the pricing. So you see there's a completely free account that gives you 100 credits a month. There's different things that you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. I'll go through them all, what's useful. But anyway, you won't be using the pro account for what we're going to try to do right now. And I'm just quickly going to show you because you get up to 2,500 people, which is, in my opinion, quite a lot if you're just starting out to find specific LinkedIn searches. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sign up for the pro trial here, for the free, or even for this one, I think you'll get like 2,000 credits or something like that. Anyway, and as I've already done this, I'm going to dive into my account and I'm going to quickly show you what we're going to do. So we're going to start off with a new table. Okay. And what I would like to show you today is how you can use LinkedIn and very specific keywords to find what you would like to do. So in my case now, my client has a podcast around sustainability. So, and she's looking for sponsors for this podcast, advertisement thought. So she's looking to get sponsors, to get companies purchasing advertising within her podcast. And for this, we're going to look for companies within the sustainable space. So there's a few ways that we can go about this. The way that I want to show you today is we're going to go click on the top left button all the way on the top, find companies from LinkedIn. So, and what this gives you is it gives you different options. You can start from the search here where you can put in a company name. As for example, you can put in a competitor or something like that, or we could go like Patagonia.com and you can find companies similar to Patagonia.com. So if we click, now we have here the United States. You could also, click UK or wherever you're looking for companies, and then it will look for similar companies like Patagonia.com. I'm not really sure what the engine here looks like, if it's looking for retail brands like that, consumer goods. Yeah, so it's looking for, these kind of retail apparel manufacturing and stuff like that. So it found, endless amounts of companies here. It found 650,000 companies for this match. So we can only import 2,500 in the free version. Okay, you can do higher amounts, like up to 50,000 if you're paying for Clay and if this is something you want to do. But right now we'll focus on the free version. So what you can do is you can drill down this a little bit more. You can go by state and you can also look for specific keywords within the company description. So for example, here we could say we are looking for keywords like sustainable, right? And then we can comma separate this. We can look for many different keywords. We can also limit the results, but we don't want to do that right now. We just want to drill down into our target audience. We can also look for a specific industry here. Like for example, we could type in retail, and we could type in retail and maybe retail and fashion. There's a few similar. There we go. Let's see what that gives up. And this should give us retail companies that have sustainable in their description. So this is already way narrow. This is like 450 companies right now, which we could just import for free. We can go even further. So let's add the United Kingdom. Let's add Canada, and let's add Australia. There we go. And let's see, we might get a little bit of more results here. Perfect, 800 companies. So let's see, maybe we can also add some other retail companies. Retail appliances. What else do we have? Online mail, food and beverage, furniture, luxury goods. Why not? Let's select everything retail. Retail furniture, retail building materials. Perfect. Very good. Let's do this again. Let's see what comes up. Great. Okay, didn't give us much more. There's, I guess, not many companies within these categories that have the word sustainable within their description, but this is good for us. So what we're going to do right now is you could also go and filter by employees. Here you can say you only want these kinds of companies that are smaller. Maybe we're going to do this too, because we don't want huge companies. So we just want kind of like the small to medium companies. Going to see if that changes a lot from our 880. Maybe just to leave out the big companies. Okay, that's maybe 50 big companies that were left out, and we're going to import these 800 companies. So now you can see you've really quickly, just maybe you didn't know this before, right? But you've got 800 matching results for a very specific target market that you're looking for: sustainable companies, sustainable retail companies. Maybe they have a Shopify store, 2 to 10 employees. Maybe they have, something bigger. But these are all like medium-sized companies that we would like to contact now that could have, that would want to potentially use an advertising spot in our podcast, in the client's podcast. So you see, you have quite a lot of information. You have the imported company by LinkedIn. Here you get all these JSON fields. You get the description, LinkedIn URL, ID, industry, country, and so on. And you could go filter these by country. You could go mess around with this data as you please and try to identify what you'd like to do here. In our case, I don't want to mess around with this data anymore, but I want to find respective decision makers at these companies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here. I'm going to change the table name quickly. So I like to keep my names descriptive so that I know where these companies are based or what I was looking for. Maybe here I'm missing retail 2 to 500, something like that. And these titles can be quite long. Important is that you understand what you were looking for in this table. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go click on Find People, and we're going to do the same exercise again. And it's going to use this column that we have here, so the imported companies, and it's going to go help us find people in these companies that could be potential match for our outreach. So I did prepare something really quickly for this. And this is a little trick you can do too. If you're trying to find the persona, I just went over to ChatGPT and I said, give me a list of all possible job titles or roles that could be, buying head of sponsorship, marketing manager, blah, 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 that could be buying a media placement within a podcast, right? And ChatGPT, I said, hey, no yapping, no nothing else, because, ChatGPT tends to go above and beyond in explaining everything you don't need to know. So I have here all these roles from marketing manager to CEO that could potentially be wanting to buy a media placement in my client's podcast. So I'm going to copy these. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say include job titles. I'm going to copy paste this all in. That's perfect for me. I'm not going to drill down anymore. You could if you wanted to. Again, if you have here tens of thousands of people and you're limited to what how many people you want in this outreach, you could drill down on location. You could even do the same exercise as we did before. Like you could look for specific certificates, language, or even keywords in their headline or keywords in their about section. Be careful because this will limit your results quite extremely, because not everyone has keywords in their title or in their about section, or headline probably more than in the about, but not everyone does have an about section. So I'm going to leave this as open as possible. So I'm going to have all of these roles in here and I'm just going to click preview people. All right. So it gave us 110 results from 800 companies. That's not really satisfactory. Kind of disappointed by that. I might just take these out quickly and try going with owner, partner, C-suite, VP, and director in this case, I guess. And I'm going to preview people and see if they give me a little more. All right, that's 380 people. That's already a little bit better. So I'm going to import these people to a new table and I'm going to click yes. And what it will do is it will create a new table for me. Again, we're doing this all for free. We haven't spent any money yet on finding these people, and we already have the names and the LinkedIn profile and the job title of these people. So we could already go kind of look these people up on LinkedIn, whatever, message them, connect with them, and so on. So we could already do all of this outreach pretty simply. I'm going to quickly go back into the other companies table, and I'm going to do what I did before. I'm just going to take these job titles here, and I'm going to paste what I had before, and I'm going to take these 100 over and hope these are not any duplicates. And I might have a little more. So what I'm going to do is import people to existing table. I'm going to go select this find people table that I had before, and I'm going to import that one for free too. All right, there we go. We're good to go. It added these people here as well. You can see there's 2 sources of data for these people. This is kind of like Airtable. If you guys know Airtable, similar concept. You can connect different kinds of rows. You can also connect to Airtable if you have a massive database there. You can connect these rows and it will look them up. So for example, here we have a lookup field into the other row where you have the company lookup field. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to quickly take the company name, add that as a column. Now, there's a few ways on how you can now find these people's email address or phone number or whatever. There's a few easy ways and some harder ways, more expensive ways, and so on. So what you could do, there's a couple of ways that you can use this data now. We have now 460 people that are potential decision makers. You can see co-founder, vice president, CEO, founder, all the way to social media manager, senior director, blah, 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 which could potentially be the responsible person, which could make a decision in buying some advertisement slot in my client's podcast. So this is great. So what you can do here is you can really quickly, you can just go click on export. You can download this as a CSV, and you can, for example, you can head over to Fiverr, where you can just ask someone to quickly go find this data for you, from Apollo scraping, data scraping. And you can go look for these people and pay them $5-10 or something like that, and they will be able to find the data for you. Another method that you can use is you can go, for example, on Apollo.io. You can log in again, create a free account, log in here for free, and then you can go on to. So what you can do here is you can go select your companies. You've exported the CSV. You can go into Apollo, and you can say bulk import from CSV, and you can say select CSV file. Then you can go select the one we have here. Perfect. And then you'll go match your account details, upload that into the sheet, and it will give you all the needed data that you have. Now, again, here you will have to then use that search URL that you have created around those companies. And you will have to go to a provider like for example, Export Apollo, which is a little bit cheaper than Apollo themselves. You can see here, these are the prices that they offer. So in this case, this would be less than 1,000 contacts. So around 15 US. You can also get unlimited data from Apollo for 2,000 a month. Now, we have our own installations on how we get data, but this is a really easy and viable way on how to get these email addresses. If you really care about efficiency and time versus money, because remember now we did everything for free, you can also use different tools directly inside Clay to go and find the email address. So what we can do is we can say we want to add enrichment, and we can say, I'm just going to do this for 10 people right now. Going to limit the columns there. So I'm just going to limit the rows here to 10 people because I don't want to spend all my credits on this one right now because I already have the data that I need. But just to show you quickly what it would look like is if we would enrich this, we can say we want to add enrichment, and we can say find person email. And so the good thing about this is it uses, this is personal email. We actually want work email. So we want email here, work email, this one. So what we can do here is we can use Play connects to all these different providers, including you can use Apollo if you have the API, and probably, Hunter or Find Email or drop contact, and so on. So these are all services that Clay connects to with their APIs, and they will charge you their credits for the usage of this. They will only charge you if it was successful, and if it wasn't successful, you're not charged. So that's really good. So what you can do is you can go add that work email enrichment. You can say you want to select this provider, and it will go through all of these providers one after the other, from Prospeo to Hunter, all the way to People Labs, which will cost you 5 credits. If you don't want this one, you can just click remove provider, and then it will not use that one. That's really just if you want the most reliable contact. If you want to keep that there, you can select the provider and put that there, and you can see more results possibly with this provider. Then you can go ahead and it will take the LinkedIn profile. Here you can just add the full name from the data fields of the company domain. And you can also, if you want, you can verify it directly in Clay. If you don't want, if you're working with millions or with thousands of records, you might want to do that over a more cost efficient provider, such as, for example, Million Verifier, whatever. You can look them up, which one's the best or cheapest for you. So we're going to leave this one out for now, and we're going to click save, and we're going to run for 10 rows. And this is now going to go through each of these workflows. You can see here it opened up all of them right now. You can also hide all of these, and it already found most of the emails directly from drop contact, which is great. And if it didn't find it here, it will go to the next one, then to the next one, and so on until it does find it. So we can select these fields here and hide them. And then all we really need is the work email showing up here. So you saw this is now running on some credits from Clay. You can go back to their pricing here and see that what this will run you back in terms of data and what it will cost you. So Clay gives you around 10,000 credits for $350 a month. This will allow you, in that case, to get around 5,000 email addresses. Depending on your use case, that might be useful to you, or maybe not, depending on how specific you want to go. If you're looking for larger amount of data, it might be more affordable to go for other providers, such as like Export Apollo, or to use some services like Fiverr and so on that will help you get that needed data. In this case now, I think it's through with the automation. You need to give it some time. It will take some time to go through all of this. So it will not always work perfectly, but when it's done, it will go through all of these emails. So it found how many here? 8 out of 10, which is pretty good. That's 80% of what we need. That's great. Now we can export this data. We can verify these emails if you haven't done so already. And then you can use those in a campaign, and you have basically everything you need. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can set up a campaign using a tool like Smart Lead or Instantly to go through setting up a cold email campaign, what copy we're going to use for this outreach, and how you can get these people to spend money on your podcast. Stay tuned and see you in the next one.